Alright, hello YouTube. Yes, I am finally back with a new video. I know it's been quite a while, but I am finally back with a new video. And today, I'm going to be talking about Blade. Mahershala Ali, the actor who was supposed to, who was supposed to play Blade in Marvel Studios' Blade, has officially been canceled. And I know I did a video on this. Uh, I know I did a video on this already, at one point. However, this isn't coming from, any insiders or anything like that. This is officially coming from the actor himself, confirming that the movie is canceled. It's not happening. So let's take a look at this. This comes from Deadline. It says Mahershala Ali calls out Marvel and is ready to move on from Blade questions. If they and quote, if they wanted to do the movie, we would have done it. We would have done the movie. So Mahershala Ali is ready to move on from being asked about Blade, the Marvel Studios reboot he was set to star in, and suffered multiple setbacks. He continued, in an interview, Ali opened up about being attached to the project that had been in development for years. Not with me, Ali told GQ when asked if the movie reboot was closer to materializing. He continued, no offense to them. I've been doing this professionally for, He continued, no offense to them. I've been doing this professionally for pushing 30 years now. And one thing I've learned is that what is for you, one thing I've learned is what is for you, and what's not is not. For whatever reason, that project is not for me. If they wanted to do it, we would have done it. So I have to move on, and I have moved on. Ali said that he doesn't really want to be known for remakes, and wants to continue doing original work that resonates with people and impacts them in unique ways. So, so I'm not at all surprised, that this is the case. This movie, again, this movie went through, rewrite after rewrite, setback after setback. And I don't remember if I mentioned this in my first video that I did, talking about this, but Mahershala Ali was actually, originally, he was the one that came to them saying that, that he wanted to play Blade, originally. This was announced I think, back in 2019 at the San Diego Comic-Con, when they brought him up on stage and he announced that he was going to play Blade. And originally, I was very, very excited. And in fact, Mahershala Ali is actually no stranger to the character. He actually, he was the main villain for the first half of the Luke Cage Netflix series. He was Cottonmouth, and during his time on that show, he started reading Marvel, and he said Blade very, very quickly became one of his favorites. So this was, a project, that he came to them. He came to them saying, hey, I want to do this, what's going on, with with this character. So I'm good, he added. Again, so I'm good, he added. Again, you had me under contract. They have $billions. If they wanted to do the movie, we would have done the movie. so we're not doing the movie. Um, and I really don't see why, my hope now, because remember, Wesley Snipes came back as Blade for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I really, really do think, obviously being, much older now, Wesley Snipes is, in his 60s, but I do think that they could at least do one more movie with Wesley Snipes as Blade. I think I remember reading somewhere, I don't remember where, but it might have been Wesley Snipes that actually said it. He wants to do, but I remember reading, somewhere that somebody wanted to do a Logan-style Blade 4 with, with Wesley Snipes, which I think would be absolutely incredible. And I think that would be, I think that would be, I think that would go a long way with, with fans. I mean, if you announce, if you were to announce something like that, you would have. I think it's pretty safe to say you would have $1 billion movie right there. And Kevin Feige actually said, yeah, I have to laugh because this is just ridiculous. Ali's comments come after Marvel's Kevin Feige said he felt like a gigantic loser and failure for not being able to make the Blade reboot happen. And in a way, he should. He should feel like a failure because this is not, Blade is not a difficult concept. It is not, this should have been a slam dunk for Marvel. You have a guy who's half human, half vampire, goes around, killing vampires. That's not, there's nothing complicated about that. And, there's nothing complicated about that. David Goyer, who was the writer on, on the original trilogy, as well as directed, the third movie, he even came out and said, when talking about, all the issues and all the setbacks that the Blade movie was having, he even said, guys, this isn't complicated. And it's not. It's not. Blade is not at all a Blade is not at all, complicated. But, it is what it is. Marvel first confirmed the Blade reboot with Ali back in 2019, as I just said, but the project has since been met with multiple delays, including director Bassem Tariq and Yen Damage's exits from the film, and then, of course, the writer's strike in 2023. So, all in all, my thoughts, I'm not at all surprised that this was canceled. This would have been, this would have been really, really cool if if this had happened. The original Blade, with Wesley Snipes and Stephen Dorff remains, one of my favorite movies. Definitely one of my favorite, Marvel, adaptations. But yeah, no, I'm not at all surprised, that this is canceled and, and that it's not happening. Am I disappointed? A little bit. But at the same time, when you have as many setbacks as this movie has had, it's pretty safe to say that it's not happening. And now here we have concrete proof that it's definitely not happening. So my hope now is, bring back Wesley Snipes for one more movie, because I think he could definitely do it. But, we will see what happens. They just cast Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider, so, if they can get that, who knows what could happen in the future. But for right now, it's canceled. So, Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.